Hey guys, it's Madison with Grand River Mushrooms. Several of you have been buying our grow kits lately and either having them shipped to your doorstep or you've been buying them from farmers market and had several questions because I wasn't the best at writing all the instructions. So today I'm actually at my house, so if you hear kids in the background, that's what's going on. Anyway, so we're going to start with our Oyster grow kit. This is what you'll get, a block just like this. Mine is a little bit more colonized. It's a little bit more white than probably what you will receive. It's been sitting at my house for a couple of weeks. So you're going, and then this is a box that I had. It's not the same size. It's actually a little smaller than the boxes that we actually ship in. So when I show you that, it still fits pretty well. So you can use about any box you have around the house if you choose to go this way. So things you're going to need. Well, in our grow kits, when they are available, we try and ship these mini mister bottles. Sometimes they're hard to find right now during quarantine, so when we have them available, we ship them in the grow kits with it. But this is just one I had around the house. Fill it up with some water. You're going to need a knife that you cleaned. Make sure your hands are clean. If you have alcohol or sanitizer, just get everything nice and clean. Wipe off the front of the block if you want to. Not totally necessary, but if you just want to take some extra precaution. This is the Oyster grow kit. We also have lion's mane. We may start adding some other species, but this is what we have right now. So when we fruit them in our facility, we put an X on the bottom, and we do what's called bottom fruiting. On all of our species, but today I'm going to show you with an X on the side of the block, just because it's easier for demonstration, and it might be easier in your home too for it to just sit there like that. Sometimes they're kind of unsteady when they're upside down. Okay, so basically any of the grow kits, the lion's mane or oyster, they're going to stay in the bag. Do not take the block out of the bag. It's going to dry out more and may not produce for you. So take your knife, and literally I'm just going to cut an X. And I say it's about 6 inches by 6 inches. It doesn't have to be perfect, but a pretty nice size X. There are other methods that people use. Feel free to do other things, but this is how we do it. We do an X. You'll see it has flaps. We generally try and leave the flaps down. Sometimes they might pop up on you. It's not too big of a deal. If you keep them down, it's going to help the humidity stay in better. So once you cut your X, it allows this air, the top part, to go down. And if you had your grow kit shipped to you, then we have already cut a tiny slit in the top to allow the air to go out so that we could put it in a box. So you don't have to worry too much because your air has already come out of your bag. If you bought it from us at a farmer's market or picked it up from us at our farm, then you've got that air pocket at the top that you want to get out. So you're welcome to tape it down if you want to. When we fruit our blocks in our facility, we actually fold these two sides and then literally roll it down. And that is what we do. So you can do that and tape it, or you can simply just fold it under and tape it. Just make sure you try and get most of the air out. And see, when I pulled that, it kind of pulled my flap open a little bit. So you can kind of try and make sure and keep that flap shut as best as possible. But if you keep enough humidity around it, keeping those flaps down isn't too big of a deal, at least not in our grow rooms. So let's talk about how people fruit them. So some people will just sit these on their counter and literally spray the block and fruit them. Do nothing. You can take a grocery sack and you can spray the block, and you can spray inside the grocery sack and literally put it over the top of the block and create a humidity tent. The only issue with creating humidity tents is mushrooms need oxygen to grow, just like we need to breathe. So if you're doing a humidity tent, you do like at least 2 times a day need to take your tent off so that you can, first of all, add more moisture to the tent, and also so it can get some fresh oxygen. Because one of the things that the mushrooms detect when we put these bags in our grow rooms, we cut the slit. And when you cut the slit, by the way, it doesn't matter. Like, you can see my X in the block. So I cut into the block a little bit. That's okay. It detects that extra oxygen. When you cut that slit, it detects the extra humidity, and it simply fruits out right there. So you need to make sure that you are sort of fanning the mushroom block, like taking this back off 2 or 3 times a day. Or if you're just stuck at home, then, and you see that your bag is dry, simply take it off and spray it. You might do that 5 times a day. You know, with recent rains, it's probably pretty humid in your area. You may not have to do it as many times. Just walk by and look at it. Another way to fruit it that some people enjoy is taking your box, or any box that you have, taking the top flaps and taping the corners so it is rigid, and literally taking your block and setting it inside the box. And then this is a 4-gallon trash bag or whatever other piece of plastic. My grocery sack wasn't quite big enough, so I found a little trash bag. And you can literally just lay it over the top, and you created a humidity tent. You can again spray the block and spray the bottom of the plastic and set it over the top. That's it. Again, you probably want to fan it a few times a day, but you're probably going to want to mist it a few times a day anyway. So, the biggest thing when growing mushrooms is temperature, humidity, CO2, and that's pretty much it. So, and light. So, our mushrooms could grow in complete darkness. That's a common misconception. We don't grow buttons. I think they can grow in darkness. But our mushrooms, actually, to develop their beautiful colors, they need light, even just the ambient light like we have in here today. So sitting on your kitchen counter, as long as you have some windows in there or have some lights on, it's going to be okay. That's why you notice I didn't use a black trash bag, because they did need some light. If that's all you had, it would probably be okay, but they might not develop the pretty colors that you would see like on our Instagram. So that's basically it. You just want to, your room temperature in your house is fine. When we fruit them at home, or at our farm, we try and have 60-degree temperatures, so they develop, our oysters develop that really dark, almost blue-gray color. You might see them a lighter coloring as they start getting in the warmer temperatures, like room temperature, but they'll still grow just fine. And actually, the warmer it is, they'll grow quicker than they do in our 60-degree weather. So that's your temperature, your humidity. Like I said, if you notice any of these bags getting dry, then spray it again. The most important thing when keeping them humid is you can spray the mushrooms directly, but they do need to go through a dry out period. So you don't want to spray them constantly and have them wet all the time. They can develop bacteria. It's not a harmful bacteria to you or me. They just don't look pretty, and they may not produce as well for you. They'll typically turn like an orange color or an orangish brown. So when they do start to develop little baby mushrooms, or we call them pins, you can still mist it, but it might be best to actually mist the plastic and mist maybe the bag around it, and not the mushroom itself. Or if you do spray the mushroom itself, don't worry too much. Just make sure that it has a chance to sort of, the mushroom fruit has a chance to sort of dry out and not have water standing on it at all times. You know, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. We have Instagram, we have our website, we have Facebook. We're all over. So we'd love to help you if you have any questions. And we are getting ready to set up a time-lapse video of these mushrooms growing. So So stay tuned to check that out, and we plan on posting more videos to help you out. Thank you. Bye-bye.